Hey, I'm gonna color and chat for a bit. I I had a day, but I actually wanted to talk a bit about why I do this. And by this, I don't mean coloring, although I can get into that too, perhaps. But I mostly wanted to talk about why I make coloring content and fountain pen content. I do it because I feel like what I do with my fountain pens and my coloring is unique, and I enjoy the process, and I enjoy sharing, and I was looking for something different to do, something that kept me engaged, and something, quite honestly, that might have that little bit of a dopamine hit that you get from feedback and other things. And I was actually doing a lot on TikTok. Wasn't huge. Never really expected to be huge, but it was going somewhere, I guess. But I had a friend I actually made on there, and they decided to leave. And I understood their reasons for leaving and agreed with them and decided that I wanted to leave too. Plus, I don't know, felt like it wouldn't be the same without them. But the reason that I bring all this up is I've started my journey into finding new places for my content and having to sort of start over with finding following and all that other stuff, if that even happens, is sometimes as a small creator, I end up getting these videos in my YouTube feed of how to grow my channel, things like that. And I saw one today. I watch them occasionally just because I'm kind of curious as to what advice they're going to give that I'm not going to take, because frankly, I'm not into gimmicks, and I don't think these various settings and all this other stuff is going to matter if my content isn't the kind of content you're going to come watch. And quite frankly, my content is pretty niche. So you're either looking for it or you're not, or at least you're looking for something similar to it. And you're not, others to it. But I, you never know what kind of tips and tricks somebody might be offering. So I do kind of look at them a little bit. I mostly, to be honest, will have the captions go, because that's easier for me to follow than try to pay attention to a whole video sometimes. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to get to here is, in this particular video, the person was talking about leaning into being new. And I really honestly couldn't quite follow what he was talking about, but he seemed to be way more focused on creators who niche is giving advice or doing things like that. And this is a problem that I run into a lot with YouTube, with Twitch, any of these different platforms, is they gear their advice to content creators. Yes, it's for small content creators, but it's content creators who aren't me. And granted, I don't expect them to personalize a video to me, but what I mean is there are lots of us out here who aren't telling you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to color. That's not what I want to do. I'm not going to tell you what fountain pens to buy. That's not what I want to do. Frankly, both of those things are very personal choices. I will gladly give you my recommendations if asked on a fountain pen. But what I prefer may be wildly different from what you prefer. And same thing with inks and coloring books. Like, up until recently, I was really only doing mandalas and patterns because that's what I was drawn to and what enticed me. And if it wasn't for that same friend that left TikTok, I would probably still mostly be doing mandalas. But I saw some of the things they were coloring and I was like, oh, that looks like fun. And they introduced me to a whole new world of other adult coloring books because I had been so focused on my mandalas for so long that I hadn't realized that the coloring book world had grown and changed so much. So, you never know what you're going to learn just by paying attention to people. But I'm not the type of person to sit here and say, oh, well, you shouldn't cozy color or you should only use this type of media or, this type of coloring is the only kind of coloring that counts or anything like that, because all coloring is valid. All coloring is relaxing and amazing if it's what works for you. And I have seen some people do incredible things with all kinds of media in a coloring book. And at the same time, I also struggle when people try to tell me and other colors that what we do isn't art, because this very much is art. It's transformational, it's interpretive. We may be taking something someone else drew, but we are making it our own and we're adding to it. It is art. Anyway, we're getting off topic a little bit there. The point is that I'm not here to get on camera and tell you my tips and tricks for, creating the perfect coloring page or how, I do some content on filling fountain pens or detailing my fountain pens, but I'm not going to tell you that you should always use this brand over that brand or, any of that, because I'm a big believer in personal choice and all of that. But what frustrates me about these creators who try to tell people to how to grow their channel is it's never focused on the true struggles that I think a lot of small creators face, which is how do you get someone to find your stuff in the sea of so much stuff? Like, they have all these little tricks that they talk about for giving the algorithm time to learn this or that. They have, all these, where that ink came from, tricks that they talk about for, you know, leaning into how you're new. And I am new. I am not young. I am new at content creation. And quite honestly, I'm not going to be the person who is going to put hours and hours into production. I want to come on. I want to put my camera on my mount. I want to open my coloring book, whichever of the 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 6 or 7 that I currently have. And that's nothing compared to some people I know. But that's a lot for me. Coloring books that I'm currently working on. And talk, maybe, and color, and share that. And the reason I want to do that is because I enjoy this. This is relaxing for me. This is my decompression. And when I think about how it decompresses me, I would like to think that maybe it might be in some way decompressing for someone else. We live in a world that is incredibly stressful right now. Right now might be a slight understatement. We live in a very stressful world. And I think it is very important that we find things that help curb that stress, give us some peace, some relaxation, some time not to think about all the troubles in the world. And for me, one of those things is doing this. When I start putting ink to paper and start focusing on all these tiny little design elements, determining what's going where and how, and whether I'm going in the negative space or positive space, or all the different little things, all the stress of my day, and today was quite the day, kind of goes away. And I would like to think that anybody watching the videos, following along with me, might get that same peace and relaxation along with me. I don't know if you do or not. Love to hear about it. But I wanted to share that. I wanted to talk about that because I feel like there's so much thrown at us, like these videos about how to grow on channel. And the fact is, you're going to find me if you're going to find me. What I do is unique. And no matter how many tags I put on, you'd have to be looking for this kind of content to find it. Hopefully, you're going to give it a chance. And maybe if you give it a chance, you'll like it. And if you like it, maybe you'll watch more. And maybe if you watch more, you'll subscribe. And if you subscribe, maybe you'll decide to tell someone else about it, or you'll decide to comment, or maybe you'll tune into my Twitch stream. I don't know. But what I do know is out of all of that, what I hope more than anything else in this world is that you find it relaxing and that you enjoy the time you spend with me, and that not every video is going to be heavy the way this one was, because this feels heavy to me. And some might be more silly, some might be more quiet, lots might be more quiet. I'm often not this chatty. Today felt like a day to be chatty, which is funny because I did a lot of talking today at work. This has been on my mind since this morning. And then it was sort of re-inflamed, you might say, this evening when I logged into YouTube and saw a similar video on growing content or growing following on Twitch, which, as I mentioned, also a Twitch streamer. Excuse me. And that one was also, focused on finding your niche and all this other stuff. Because most of the, oh, you're new, let's help you type content tends to be. But my frustration with that is because things he was saying seemed really useful, except it was totally geared towards gamers. And I'm fully aware that that's what Twitch started as, and that's still a very large portion of the Twitch community. However, there's a large portion of us on Twitch that stream stuff like this. They don't stream games. We stream our art, our crafts. We stream our lives. And yet no one's giving us any advice for how to make that better, how to reach more people. And that content is probably more relatable than most Twitch content. Now, that could be just my autistic brain speaking, because, well, I don't mind watching my partner play a video game and maybe commenting now and again about their decisions or how the game's going. I personally can't imagine sitting there and just watching someone else play a game that I have no interaction with or ability to control their decisions, or I shouldn't say control, influence their decisions or anything else. So I know that work, is enjoyable for a lot of people. And as I said, I am all for people doing what they enjoy, as long as it's legal. It's not doing anything super crazy, but it's not my thing. But I do enjoy watching streams of people doing things that I enjoy and being able to info dump and discuss topics that I enjoy. And most of those things fall into the IRL category. So where's the advice for the content creators like us, for the streamers like us? Where's the advice for the people who just want to be real, aren't trying to grow for any other reason than hoping that what we bring to the table is enjoyable to those who watch it. I'm not trying to grow to make money. I'm not. If I do, if I reach that level, that's totally a bonus. It's totally like, hey, cool. That's a milestone, a feather in my cap. I am doing this because I enjoy the process. I know I don't normally talk this much. There are days like today where I have thoughts like this, and being able to get them out, being able to color and get all these thoughts that kind of circulate in my brain. It's nice. And to think that maybe someone out there is enjoying that too, and maybe has the same thoughts, and if not, maybe wants to, maybe has contrary thoughts, but either way, being able to have a dialogue, even if it's only one sided, while coloring and letting it all just kind of wash away, letting the stress of the day dissipate. It's pretty amazing. And I hope that something I said here today was impactful. And I don't mean impactful in a way that causes you to follow me or subscribe or whatever. I mean, I never complain about that. I just hit my 11th subscriber since I started this, which honestly, for doing it for oh, maybe a little over a month is pretty good considering I'm building up from scratch. I am sure that there are plenty of people out there, like the people I've been speaking about, who would tell me that I could do it so much faster if I would just follow their advice. But I'm more than happy to build it genuinely, authentically, and let those people find me little bit by little bit, build it brick by tiny little Lego brick, so to speak. Just like I lay down color, little bits by little bits. And so when I say that I hope that you enjoyed this and found it engaging and whatnot, I hope that it made you think a little bit. And I hope that you enjoyed it in a way that allowed you to also decompress and maybe clear your mind. And I think I'm going to focus on creating more content like this, where I talk about whatever subject is on my mind. And if no subject is on my mind and I want to color and create a video for that, I might do that too. And if not, maybe I'll just color for myself and I'll post finished pictures. Either way, any of those, the point is that I am mostly doing this for me, and anyone who enjoys the product I create is a benefit, but I'm not creating anything for the sake of another. I'm creating because it makes me happy to create. And I am creating when my pen lets me create because I enjoy the process. And I hope that if anybody watching this is also on a content creation journey or any kind of creation journey, whether it be content, art, crafting, you're doing it because you enjoy it. You're doing it for you, not in any way because you feel that you have to for others or putting pressure on yourself regarding money to be made, anything like that, because that is how we burn ourselves out. And I came really close to that not that long ago, actually, just 2 days ago even. And I will say that that same friend that I've mentioned a few times was really good at reminding me that just because I said I would do something doesn't mean I have to do it because I come first. And you see me struggling with this pen. Of course, now it wants to write. It's such a light ink, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's doing what it wants to do. It looks like it just needed that little bit of different paper to get started. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a TED talk, so to speak, of mine. I wanted to get that off my chest. And yeah, let's just all go out there and do the things that make us happy and stop worrying about gimmicks and tricks and these different things. Oh, well, if you use this sound or change that setting, just live life, enjoy life. It's too freaking short. Okay? So, have a great night. Hope you join me again sometime. You know what buttons to hit if you want to make sure you know about future videos. And maybe you'll find me on Twitch one day too. Peace.